Hello everyone and welcome to another test video. As you may have seen, I've recently done a test video on the difference between various brushed motors, revs per minute, and it got me thinking. I wonder if there's any difference between ESCs, as we can see here, I've got 4, as well as if there's a difference between 2.4 gig digital and 27 megahertz analog. So for this test, after doing some testing myself, I decided that I would need a separate battery for each ESC. I noticed basically a marked drop off on the second round using 2.4 gig digital. So we have 4 Turnigy 4200 milliamp hours, 7.2 volt 6 cell nickel metal hydride batteries, all fully charged, all connected to one of the ESCs. So we're going to start off with the 2.4 gig system because I've calibrated all the ESCs that need calibrating to that. So to start with, we're going to run the Hobbywing 1060. We've then got, if you can see in amongst all the spider web, TBLE-04, and then a TBLE-02, and last but by no means least, the Mtroniks Auto Sport tuned 20. So I'll switch everything on and get back to you in a second. Let's give it a go. And there we have it. We have a max of 18305. So I'll get set up for the next one and be back with you in a bit. Okay, next up we've got the TBLE-04. The max on that was 19035. So again, we'll crack on and swap over. Next up, TBLE-02. And that gave us 18,000 exactly. Mtroniks next. Okay, and lastly we've got the Mtroniks Auto Sport. Now, there is a manufacturing issue. Well, I don't say it's an issue, limitation, that's what I'll call it, with this Mtroniks and digital transmitters, in that it can't cope with the maximum speed or the maximum throttle position. So if you don't set your EPA to between 80 and 90%, when you hit full throttle, basically it cuts power to the motor. So I've set my transmitter to 90% and we'll give it a go. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got 18450. Well then, yeah, I don't know, I don't think it's too surprising for me, other than the TBLE-02 being the slowest, which surprised me. But the 04 looks to be the fastest, followed by, surprisingly for me, is the Mtroniks, even though the EPA was set to 90, so we'll put that in. So the next up is which one's fastest with the 27 megahertz. So I'll get set up for the next round and be back to you shortly. Okay, so we're going to go in reverse order this time because this was already connected, and I've got to go through the calibration of the TBLEs. we've now got the 27 megahertz analog, and I have gone through and charged the batteries up again to equal everything out. So without further ado, let's do the Mtroniks. Okay, so that was 18,423, a little bit slower, but hey, there we go. So we'll be back now for the TBLE-02S. Oops. And we have a maximum of 18116. Let's crack on to the TBLE-04. And we have a top of 19011. Again, basically the same. Last but by no means least, Hobby Wing 1060. And here we go. Ooh. Oh, I forgot it's got a drag brake on that one. So we have 18404. So what can we what can we conclude with that? Okay, so as usual, I'm sure you'll draw your own conclusions, but for me it looks like the TBLE would be the fastest, but there's not much in it between any of them really. I mean, whether you'd be able to measure or see a difference in speed between either of the ESCs or the difference in transmitters is debatable in my opinion, but for a cheap brushed ESC, I think you'd have to go for either the Hobby Wing or, as it turns out, Tamiya have now, I'm assuming, done a deal with Hobby Wing to produce the Tamiya Hobby Wing 1060 with the heat sink being black instead of this burgundy reddy colour. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed watching and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers, bye.